Hey guys, what's going on? Jake here, and welcome back to the Alpine Career Mode. Welcome to episode 2 of the Australian Grand Prix. So after winning the last race somehow, we kept it on 80 difficulty. I forgot to turn safety car immersive back on, but luckily we don't have a safety car. But look at this. Loads of upgrades getting done, that we've jumped Alfa Romeo and we are now the 4th best car and closer to Mercedes than Mercedes are to Red Bull. So in theory, we should be around Mercedes level, maybe a bit lower. And in practice, we get 700 R&D points. Fernando gets 500, giving us a lot of chance to upgrade. So moving into Q1 now, our first lap. It's not going to be a very good lap at all. We set a 21.1, which was the fastest lap of the time and was quicker than Bottas. But we have to go out again. As you can see, coming into this section, we are 2.5 tenths up now. We are losing a bit of time in this section, now down to 2 tenths gained. Obviously, we got a poor run, so we're going to keep losing time. And at this corner, boys, we had 2 tenths gained, and we end up losing all of the time that we gained. However, our last corner was absolutely terrible. We had a really poor run out of it, so this time it should be automatic gains. And as you can see, coming out of here, already 2 tenths gained, and now we go and jump up to 5.5 tenths gained. Which we were already through, but it will comfortably put us through in P10. So, very good omens, already in the top 10. Fernando Alonso in P4 setting a 120 flat, which is very good from the Spaniard. We set a 20.5. If we didn't gain that 5 times, we would have still got through, but, you know. Okay, now moving into Q2. We are heading onto the back straight now. Heading into the last sector's proper corners, which I do kind of struggle with, but here we don't really get the apex, but on the outside we do. Can we hit the apex here? No, I don't think we hit a single apex on the hairpin all weekend. But coming out the final corner, we get a really nice run. Coming up to the line, we set a 20.6, which is a bit slower than our Q1 lap time. So then we head out for our second run of the session. We are currently half a tenth down, but we get a good run going half a tenth up now. Heading into, I would like to say this is kind of like a hairpin, but it's not really a hairpin, is it? But we gain about a tenth. We lose it with a bit of a step out of the rear, but we have still gained a tenth and a half coming through to 1. And now heading into sector 2, we love this corner. This is my favourite section of the track, that corner into these back straights. And thanks to that corner, and you know, I gain a lot of time on that corner compared to the AI, which is how basically all weekend we were setting purple middle sectors. As you will see here, we set a purple middle sector. So that's how basically we run a bit wide there, losing about half a tenth, coming on the gravel, making us lose a bit of time. So now our tyre is going to be a bit warmer. We run wide there, however, we only lose a tiny bit of time, maybe like 1,000th of time from going wide there, which I was pretty happy with for the minimal loss. We almost hit our apex there, but obviously we don't because it's Melbourne. But I finally figured out how to do the last corner, so now this track isn't as painful as it was before. And we get a 7.5 tenth improvement, putting us P6. I didn't actually see my lap time though. We set a 1:19.9. Fernando sets a 20.1, which is a tenth slower than his Q1 time. So yeah, a bit from Nando. And now heading on to our one and only lap time in Q3, because we used all of our tyres there to get through to Q3. We only have one set left, and this is basically our final lap of the session, boys. So let's see what we can do here. Pretty nice there. Coming through here, I don't know any of the corner names. We run a bit wide, we get stuck on the sausage curb a bit, but that's going to be minimal time lost, hopefully. But yeah, this lap, compared to my Q2 lap, was quite scruffy. However, we gained time in it, so I don't know how we did that. Maybe if this lap was a bit cleaner, we would have gained like 4 tenths, maybe. Our Q1 lap, my Q2 lap. But yeah, now we go to the end of the lap. And we take it pretty nicely through there. A little bit of a moment. However, coming into this hairpin, we almost hit the apex boys. That's probably the closest we got all weekend. A pretty decent exit out of here. Our Q2 lap time was a 19.9, I think. So we set a 19.7, which is a 2/10 improvement, putting us P6. So technically, because Perez got knocked out in Q1 again, we are best of the rest. We are a 10th behind the Mercs. Nando also making a 2/10 improvement from Q2, a 10th improvement from Q1. But yeah, this is going to be a great race, boys. Let's see if we can maybe nab a couple of positions and try get a podium today. Probably not, but let's try our best.
Hello and welcome from Melbourne, a track off the back of a fantastic qualifying session. It's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, George Russell, Cox, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Tsunoda, and Kevin Magnussen, Vettel, Joe, Lance Stroll, and Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Alex Albon. Latifi and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. That's it then. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
So then, boys, heading into the race strategy, obviously making sure our tyres are on a low pressure. I run low pressures at every circuit now because it stops me from spinning that much. I'm getting a hang of the setups a bit more. Obviously, we turned our wings down, but we're going to be running 30.5 laps of fuel, which is probably going to be way too much anyway. But I just don't want to ever have to lift and coast. And then we run, obviously, medium to hards. I was tempted to go hards to softs, but we had very good track position. It's not like we were like 9th on the grid or something when we should be 5th. But, you know, we have a decent strategy, boys. So let's get into the race and let's get this formation lap done. So then, boys, forming the grid for the Australian Grand Prix. My door keeps opening. Let's try and get it optimal here, so we can get the best start possible. Maybe we could jump into P4 here, because we have Carlos Sainz just ahead of us. So, we do get a green instead of a purple. We get exactly 1 meters. So yeah, let's go. Waiting for the grid to form. 5 little lights for the Australian Grand Prix. And it is a lights out and away we go. We get a pretty poor start, however, again, our second phase is pretty good. With ERS, we closing on Russell and Sainz. We go down the inside of Russell and Sainz. We bang tyres with Sainz, however, no damage. We get a bit wobbly and we are just behind Hamilton. Just behind Hamilton now. We checked vehicle condition, obviously it says no damage, so we should be fine. However, we are going to have Sainz and Russell in faster cars all over the back of us now, so maybe it wasn't the best idea to make the move on Sainz. Maybe it was just Russell we should have made the move on. However, we are sticking with Hamilton here. We aren't losing much time. We are gaining away from Sainz. So if we could stay with Hamilton here until the DRS, maybe we have a chance at a podium here today. Maybe we have a chance at a podium here today. Still within a second of Lewis Hamilton, however, Sainz is closing up to the back of us here. And with a poor exit there, we have dropped outside of 1 second, and Sainz is closing on us here. He's going to go round the outside. We're going to send him round the outside. We go defensive, break a bit later, leave him the room, and we stay ahead of Carlos Sainz on this occasion. Very, very nice manoeuvre. Now heading on to, actually a bit of a wobble there, but we stay ahead. Moving on to lap 3. We got Carlos Sainz closing in again. Now is he going to look for a move? No, with our ERS usage, we're just about staying ahead. However, we need a good exit here, and that is the exact opposite of what we get, because Sainz gets an OP exit. Sainz is going to go around, and we're going to send him to the outside again, because that is the best way we have to defend. We outbrake him. He turns in on us a bit there, trying to do some dirty tactics there. I see Carlos Sainz, and we stay ahead and we stay in P4, but we are losing just loads of time to Hamilton by fighting. And by the time it's lap 10, we have lost 6.5 seconds, and Sainz is going to go for a move again. It's taken like 5 laps to get a proper good run on us again for me to show you. And he's going to go to the outside again, and we are just easily going to be able to defend again. This time, however, we don't care about Hamilton. We just park on the exit, trying to make Sainz lose time, and Russell ends up overtaking him. So we now have a slower car behind us, but still a faster car than us. So now we've got Sainz again behind us. Alonso's making a move on Russell, which is absolutely incredible. Come on, Nando, get that move done. Maybe we can order multi-21, we can get Alonso into P4, and then maybe we can try pull away, because Leclerc's already on the 2-stop I think he's going for today. And yeah, onto the back straight we go. Russell's now ahead of Nando, and Carlos Sainz is going to be temporarily ahead of us into turn 1. However, we're going to brake a bit later and go round the outside of Carlos Sainz at turn 1 and keep ourselves in the podium places for now. However, I believe that once we make our stops, Leclerc will be ahead of us all. So then, heading on to lap 11. No, sorry, lap 12. We check our teammate status, and as you can hear now, Fernando Alonso is struggling, boys, because of engine issue. So that is horrible for Nando. He's losing like a second a lap, and he's gone from P5, battling for P5, to P8, which is horrible for him. But yeah, it is what it is, boys. Hopefully Nando can get some points today, unlike he did in Bahrain. But moving on to lap 13 now. This should be the lap we box, unless we box next lap. And we have Sainz all over the back of us again. He's probably going to get a better run out of here, because I struggle to put the power down here. The AI don't. We run a bit wide, get on the grass a little bit. And Carlos Sainz again trying to go around the outside here. It's not going to work for you, Carlos. We're just going to take the apex and stay ahead once again. We do leave him room this time, and he has a look, but he doesn't get enough of a run to get us on this occasion. So now heading on to lap 14. It looks like we are going to box on this lap, boys. Onto a set of hard tyres. Are on like 46% on the lefts, so it is a good time to come in. We could have gone an extra lap, but we are going to come in now. Russell's going to stay out. Sainz is going to come in. Pretty good pit entry here. We need to try get purple. Our pit box is quite early, and bang, we get optimal. However, I also think Carlos Sainz has a really good stop, and Carlos Sainz is still there right behind us, and obviously we're going to come out on really cold tyres, and therefore we're going to have Carlos Sainz all over the back of us here. So as you can see, we're going to come out. I'm going to show you the first corner, and yeah, we managed to take it well, kind of, but Sainz is going to close up on us, but he's also on cold tyres, so he also struggles to get a good run. So moving on to lap 15 now, the next lap. Tsunoda is coming out the pits. We overtake him. Russell's also coming out the pits, and he's managed to overcut us by a lap. However, he's on really cold tyres, and as you can see already, we are closing on George Russell. And a few corners later, we get to our favourite place on the track, and here we go. We've got a run on George Russell on cold tyres, and here we go. We're looking for a move on George Russell here. We're going to try get him. We're going to go round the outside on the straight. Oh, that is a beautiful move. It's not even like a good move at a corner. It's just we've just sailed round the outside of the Mercedes there with a slower straight line speed. And Russell, he just doesn't have a chance with his cold tyres. And we stay ahead until lap 25, when Russell is now behind us. And he's going to have a look for a move on us here. Oh no. It's taken us like 9 laps to catch back up with us because of his battling with Sainz. And he's going to go down the inside, but we hang around the outside, unlike Carlos Sainz, who seemed to struggle to hang around the outside against us there. However, we stay ahead, and we maintain our P4 because Leclerc has managed to get back up to P2. And now heading on to lap 26, we're going to let George go on our inside, and his yellow flag's behind us. George Russell is slowing down. George Russell is out of this Grand Prix with a mechanical issue. George Russell, who had a chance at P4 because he could have overtaken us in the final laps, has an engine issue. No safety car so far, no virtual safety car, but what it has done is it meant Sergio Perez, who is coming from like P17, is now into P5 and is doing basically a last to first and could get P4 here. But however, the gap is 2 seconds due to that mechanical issue for Russell. So with only a few laps left, we do have quite a high chance of staying ahead. However, Perez has closed the gap to 1.3 seconds. He could get DRS by the time we got onto the back straight. We need a really good middle sector here, my favourite part of the track. We gain a bit of time on him. Coming out of here, we need a good exit. Oh, and it's yellow flags behind. Perez is slowing down, and it is another mechanical failure, this time for the Red Bull, who is having an engine failure. So a Mercedes and a Red Bull with engine failures today. Oh my days. That is struggle street for the big boys. And it allows Yuki Tsunoda to take P5. And now we're on the final turns here. We're in P4. We have P4, but we're going to be looking behind us here on the mini-map, but to see if Yuki Tsunoda can hang on to P5. Come on, Yuki. Hold on to P5. Beat Carlos Sainz as we come across the line for P4. A very good result from P6 on the grid. And Yuki Tsunoda gets P5. Very good result from everyone this weekend. Very good result for us. I think Nando got points, boys. So yeah, let's go.
Let's have a quick look at how
So then, boys, Max Verstappen wins from Leclerc to Hamilton, who sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We finished P4, Tsunoda P5, Alonso gets P7. He probably had a chance at P5 today if it wasn't for his troubles with the engine. However, he did not retire and he gets 6 points for the team. His first points this year. So yeah, Sergio Perez and Russell retire. Ricciardo goes a lap down, which is very surprising. But yeah, maybe he had some issues as well at the end. But yeah, let's take a look at the standings, and we are still leading the Drivers' Championship by 2 points to Max Verstappen. We are not in a title battle, boys. Next race, we will lose the lead of the championship unless Max has an engine failure. And Alpine is still second, however, only 2 points ahead of Ferrari. I'd say our battle this year is with the Mercs, maybe, unless Hamilton just romps away. But it's going to be pretty much P4 or P3 for us in the constructors. And in the drivers, we're going to try and get P5. And hopefully Nando can get some podiums at the end of the year before he hopefully retires and allows someone else to come into the team. If he doesn't retire, though, it's not the end of the world because Alonso is brilliant. So yeah, let's go back into the garage and see what upgrades we can make. We've got an ERS upgrade coming, which is going to be way helpful. That's something we need to focus on. Is the ERS, and we have 2,600 R&D points. So we're going to see what we can do. We were going to do fuel efficiency, and I was just like, nah, there's no point. Let's go do some chassis upgrades. So I was tempted between these two. We end up getting the suspension geometry. We end up making an upgrade on the front downforce, or do we do rear? Because I was stuck between the two. I was going to do, I think we do front downforce. No, we do rear downforce, and we do front downforce, actually. So we are going to have a lot of downforce, and we do another chassis upgrade. So yeah, we now want to do one more powertrain upgrade, and then we are done. But yeah, we are still fourth, and once we got our upgrades on, we could even jump to as close as Mercedes as possible. But yeah, we go and make another upgrade here on the durability with the ERS points we have. And yeah, so that is that, boys. Let's go into the Emilia-Romagna Imola Grand Prix, a track I enjoy, and let's hopefully get a good result like this week. See you next time.